Yo guys, it's your boy Don alongside with my dad.
Yo,
And
I'm
today
here.
and today we're gonna be doing a week 10 recap video. And now, we've done a couple of these this year, but this is our third one doing it, and what these recap videos are doing is we're gonna be recapping every single game from this past week and kind of giving our thoughts and opinions. And also before we begin, comment if you want to see more of these. Because these are something we don't do too often, so comment if you want to see more of these. But let's get right into it.
Let's talk about the Giants-Panthers game. Did you expect the Giants to win, or did you expect the Panthers to win this game?
Honestly, I did have the Panthers winning this game. Hey, you gotta give it to them. This is the first time technically since 2 years ago that they did win back-to-back games, and they are 3-7. So I'm not gonna call this season an improvement because it's only by one win. Because they could still lose out and be a 3-14 team, but there's still a whole. I wouldn't say a whole second half, but you've still got like a bunch of games. You still got like 6 more games, I believe, in the second half, 6 or 7 more games in the second half.
Right.
That the Panthers, they could always either win out or they could potentially be a sucky team.
Yeah, and it's crucial and everything. The Giants have lost all hope for them. I had high expectations, thinking Jones would rebound this season, and he really hasn't. Now you got to be concerned, is Brian Dable on the hot seat, 2-8, could be fired, could be changes coming to the Giants once again. End of the season should be interesting. Let's get on to the Patriots and Bears. Are you shocked about this game? I was shocked. I really was.
I was expecting better out of the Bears. I had the Bears with the rebound week, but the Patriots basically, I wouldn't say blowing them out, but beating them like 19-3, I believe, the score. That is something that, hey, at least the Patriots have like 3 wins this year too, so God give it to them.
And this is how confusing and weird the NFL season has been. And the Bears, I think that was a crucial game there, simply because they're still in that hunt for the playoffs right now. However,
the more losses you take, the more that's going to hurt them.
And I think that loss right there, that sense of momentum, it sent a bad factor to them. I think they were still down off of the Commanders' loss there, unfortunate and everything. But Eberfloss, a lot of people in Chicago were calling for his name to be fired. They want to change there and everything. The thing is, I don't think you do it yet. You wait until you see if he's really not going to be in the playoffs. This thing has just been shaky this year with them. And, sometimes it goes in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. They need to restructure and get things done, and they need to do it now, and now's the time. Bills-Colts, what a game that was. Josh Allen being Josh Allen, that defense being scary. They play the Chiefs this week in Buffalo. What did you think about this game, though?
Okay, to be fair, this was an easier team that they could probably beat and win. But to be fair, an 8-2 record, I was if you would have asked me their record, back before the start of the season, I would say, they could literally be like a 6-4 team, maybe at worst 5-5. But them being 8-2, as of right now, present day, this is something that they're doing without Stephon Diggs.
They're doing it, and it's very unique. They're doing it now without players that, a lot of people were skeptical about, and I think that's what makes Josh Allen a very good quarterback. Sean McDermott is great. I love this guy as a head coach. I really do. He's the right choice there. Smart. Keep him locked up as your head coach because he's going to have things to come there. And this is going to be a scary week for the Chiefs. Speaking of that, the Chiefs and Broncos game. What did you think about that one?
That game,
intense.
The Broncos, they had a 14-3 lead. I believe they could have been 14-0, but I just, didn't check in time. But, when I checked.
They had 3 points. It was 7-3, then it went to 14, yeah.
Okay, yeah. 14-3, but the Chiefs, they were able to come back. It all came down to a second and a 35-yard field goal. Instead, the special teams came in, and oh my goodness, they were able to block the punt. I've been seeing a few of those this year.
Punt? You mean the field goal?
Yeah, field goal. They blocked the field goal, and the Chiefs are undefeated through week 9. Or no, through week 10.
Through week 10,
but
9-0.
But still, 9-0. Third time in history.
This is their time in history. They want that three-peat. They're showing reasons. I am concerned about the offensive production form, especially going to a week against the Bills. This is going to be a lot. This is in Buffalo. So you got to bring your A game. You got to have an offense out there. Don't get me wrong. You can never take the Broncos, lightly. And you can never take even the Raiders lightly or anything like that. You have to go out there 100% every game and show that. And the Broncos always try to find a way to win. And Bo Nix did very, very good. I was very pleased with the way that the Broncos actually played. However, this defense is truly special this year for the Chiefs, guys. This is what they are building this team off of and everything. Defense wins games and defense wins championships. If no one can eventually beat that caliber that the defense of the Chiefs have, I think they are that top contender to win the Super Bowl here. However, I think this is going to be an interesting week. This could break or shake how things work between the AFC right here. You have two of the best quarterbacks by no far doubt in the league, Josh Allen and Mahomes playing. It's going to be a great week.
And also, I do want to add on, I believe you skipped the Thursday night game, which that is the Bengals versus the Ravens, which that was the start of Week 10. And what I want to mention here is that that was a close game. The Bengals, they were going for the 2-point conversion, but they failed, and they lost 35-4. But unfortunately, that loss right there by the Bengals could put a dent in their playoff chances. But the Ravens, they keep on rolling.
That was a very, very close game by 1 point and everything. In both teams, you could see really where the struggle is and where the Bengals are hurting, And yeah, it's a squeak out for the Ravens, but the Ravens are a very good team as well, too. Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback. You saw what he was able to do there, running and passing. He is a dual threat in both the backfield as a running back, pretty much, or as a passing quarterback, just because they are doing it. They have a solid core of offense that can't be touched. And those are one of those things that really, really hurt. The Bengals, hopefully they recover. They get better, because they're going to need to. Every game from here on out for the Bengals is important and has to end up in a W column. They have no more room to fail. So
at this point, all it could take is probably 2 more losses, and that could be it for their season.
Exactly. So, it's one of those things they need to aggressively get on and fix it immediately. Falcons Saints. What did you think about that game?
Honestly, I was expecting the Falcons to win, and the quarterback, for those of you that don't know, and this was earlier last week, that the Saints head coach
Dennis Allen was fired.
That's what I thought for the first name. But anyways, Dennis Allen was fired. And I thought things would be a lot worse maybe without him, but things were worse without him, or with them, with a 7-game losing streak. But they were able to snap it over the division-leading Falcons. Keep in mind that division is mediocre, but to be fair, the Falcons are competing in that division first place, 6-4. Yep. So hey, at least they broke the 7-game losing streak for them, and they basically have the same record.
And they got Carr back too, right?
Derek Carr. Hopefully, when they get Derek Carr back, or if they do have Carr back already, they can start getting some wins. At this point, just go on a big winning streak at this point to save your season, if you want to even have a shot on getting back to the playoffs.
And it's not that the Saints are that bad of a team. Well, I don't know. I feel bad for Derek Carr of all people, because he's been through so many transitional changes of coaches, quarterback coaches, the whole 9 yards. That's a lot to take in. This guy has never really truly got a development feel in the NFL, because he has a constant recycle of coaches. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's, here's a guy that was supposed to have great talent, and he shows that capability of having great talent. Unfortunately, with the Raiders, he went through how many? I stopped counting. And then here we are, the Saints. Here we are.
they're doing the same thing.
So it's kind of one of those things of he was supposed to be a very good quarterback, but he's really never found the perfect fit for him, and he needs that. If he's going to be a star, and he's the future of New Orleans, that's what you need to do for him. The Falcons, Kirk Cousins, one week it can be a gem, the next week it's shaky. You know, it's one of those things, and they're both in the same division. I mean, it's interesting. I'm glad that the Falcons are competing. The Saints, I had higher expectations this season for as well. 49ers, Buccaneers. What did you think of that game?
That was a back and forth game between the both teams, but I believe the 49ers
won.
They had the edge. They got the edge, and what thought it was probably going to be a division lead for the Buccaneers this year has now turned into like a 3-4 game losing streak, unfortunately. And things need to change real quick for the Buccaneers, or else their season could end up for the first time since the 2019-20 season, they might not be going to the playoffs.
Exactly. And, this is sad because, again, another team that I expected to come out further, and it's not that they're losing by a lot. It's either a field goal, a touchdown. The week before, last week, they played the Chiefs, and they lost in overtime. And, when Baker Mayfield was out there on the field at the coin toss, you could kind of see it. Losing games, tough games in a row when you're looking at it does break a team. It really does. A lot of people don't realize, there's only the mentality, even it's so close that you could have had the game and everything. Again, the 49ers, though, themselves, now they've got a Christian McCaffrey back. He got 100 yards. That's a positive for them, so they're taking that step. But it's anybody's division in their division right now. I mean, so from here on out, they need to make sure they're gelling fast, and they have to get in sync, which is then they can take over because Kyler Murray's doing it in Arizona this year, and it's finally coming to effect. Steelers, Commanders.
That was another close one,
By one.
But the Steelers, by 1 point, they were able to edge out the victory, ultimately letting them go 7-2, and technically they are a first place team. The bye week kind of gives them an advantage right now. They're first place after 10 weeks. So, they're another team that they're doing good right now. They're 2 wins away from another year and another winning season. But the Commanders,
they're still in good shape.
They're not that bad in shape. But, with one of the teams that we're going to talk about in probably a few minutes, they did go down to second place in the division. But they're still in a decent spot in the playoffs, despite them not being first place.
If you asked me at this time, at the beginning of the season, would the Commanders be where they're at? I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. But Dan Quinn has done a really good job with this team. And I loved it. Dan Quinn is a defensive coordinator. He is spot on. This is a great job for him. This is a great fit for him as well, too. So I'm happy for him. Mike Tomlin, big fan of him. I love his football. He's just a down-to-earth guy who really knows how to relate. We had uncertainties with Russell Wilson coming over and everything. And then Josh Fields coming over. Who would have ever thought that this is what they needed? Sometimes that changeup is just what you need to get the win. And you know what? They're having fun out there. They're proving everything right. Wilson's having a season. Fields is even having a pretty good year. This defense is just spectacular and everything. But these are two good football teams that are going to compete. And it's just, it's good to see some other teams in the mix for it this year compared to every year. Vikings, Jaguars. What do you think about that?
I thought the Jaguars were going to probably try to win that game.
They look like it.
But, they, I wouldn't say they choked it, but, they gave up the lead to Minnesota. Minnesota is able to win again. That ultimately means Jacksonville is technically tied with the Giants for, if you do record-wise, they're technically tied with the Giants for worst team in the league.
They are. And here we go here. yesterday between Darnold, Mac Jones, we had a combined 5 interceptions. Mac Jones took 3 sacks, 24 yards lost. Darnold took 1, 8-yard loss. I'm kind of getting concerned, though, about Darnold's performance over the last couple weeks. I mean, we're not seeing as good of, and I understand you can't be perfect every week, but we're not seeing, the last couple of weeks have been really shaky for him. And then you have this Jaguars team that, really kept you in that competition. So at some point, I mean, they're good, 7-2. I'm happy for them. Who would have ever thought Sam Darnold in the position he's in? Hey, O'Connell might be the guy for him. This might work out for the Vikings. The Jaguars, I have little faith in them. I see Doug Peterson being fired in the near future, and that's the end of his era. Matt Nagy, Chiefs offensive coordinator, is back in that link. So would that become a potential reunion for Reed and Peterson in KC? If that happens, that would be something interesting. Titans, Jaguars. What did you think about that?
Titans, Jaguars?
Or Titans, Chargers, sorry. Sorry, guys.
I mean, around this is the part where I think we start getting, I believe we start getting into the blowouts. And
it was 27-17.
27-17. This wasn't really the blowout of like the afternoon evening games. More like the evening games, if you know what I mean. But the Chargers, hey, another win's another win for them. But the Titans, another loss, unfortunately.
I don't have any confidence in the Titans. Will Levi does not. I mean, he was 18 of 23, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. He needs to be a better assertive leader if he's trying to take command of this team and lead them. And they are. I mean, it's going to be a long couple of years before you see Tennessee. But they're planning on Will Levi being the guy for it. The Chargers, 6-3. They get a win. Herbert, good numbers and everything. Not a bad record for him or anything of that nature. I think he's doing pretty good with the Harbaugh experience. And I believe Jim Harbaugh is the head coach for that job. I mean, I like what I've seen there. Couple tough breaks on losses. It happens. So, Eagles, Cowboys. Here we go. Here's blowout number 1, 34-6.
At this point, okay, I hope there's Cowboys fans watching this video right now. If you're following the Cowboys season, for those that don't know, the Cowboys have lost 4 in a row. If you're watching this, Cowboys fans, I'm going to tell you this right now. Ditch 2024. Ditch 2024 right now. Because Cooper Rush had a poor performance.
Wow.
Mike McCarthy.
Trey Lance even looked bad. But they wasted that.
Trey Lance is horrible. They need to get rid of Mike McCarthy. He's not the guy. This is the season that he gets fired. Just ditch 2024. I'm dead serious. You're gonna lose 2 more. And with Dak Prescott, technically he's your guy, but
he's out for this year.
You're starting to get some guys back, but Prescott's their leader, and without Prescott, they're gonna go nowhere. So just ditch 2024 and see what happens in the offseason. Wait 30.
I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm going to make a deal with myself. I'm going to get bet against myself. Every game the Cowboys put up a loss, I'm going to put up 3 more sets of Christmas lights outside. I could be putting a lot of Christmas lights outside this year, guys. Just because that's how bad the Cowboys were. There was no absolutely, this goes to show who's monitoring these practices. Cooper Rush, when he played last season, he played well. Yesterday, he looked as far out of sync as could possibly be. Trey Lance looked like unwasted talent. Unused talent. He has the potential to be a good QB. and they made him look like nothing. They look disorganized and everything. And he has the potential for a lot. Jerry Jones needs to step down, number one, and resign as general manager. Mike McCarthy, they need to play clean sweep there, guys. And the sooner you fire, the better your chances are. Otherwise, I just don't see you going anywhere. The Eagles, they're setting their eyes back on a powerful NFC. They want to get back to that Super Bowl. Sirianni's having fun out there. Fun fact, yesterday's game was the first time you really saw Sirianni. Those players just really gel for the season. You know, have that absolute showing of support, you know, how it was. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a deep run this year as well, too.
And call me, oh God, I don't want to say anything biased or anything. The Cowboys are literally going to turn into the NFL version of the St. Louis Cardinals. They have an organizational problem. I mean, we're dealing with some old guys as part of the organization, but they have an organizational problem.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy is the Oliver Marmol of the NFL. Okay, I wouldn't say he argues, but like, it's the sad truth. They have an organizational problem, and with Dak Prescott being injured, like I said, it's over. I wouldn't say it's over, but it definitely is over for Dallas.
And here's the thing about it that you kind of look at as well. In the 90s, they were a powerhouse. And unfortunately, at that time, Jerry Jones was able to be the general manager. But he also had Jimmy Johnson. And he had Barry Switzer. And, changes come along the way and all that. It's not 1990 anymore. He needs to relinquish about that power a little bit there. That way somebody he can bring in actually can say, hey, Jerry, this is what we need. This is our strengths. That's what you need. Otherwise, they're just doing the same thing. But I mean, in the 90s, you cheered for him.
Nowadays, it's just not that good.
It's not that good. Jets Cardinals, another blowout. Holy wowzers.
You see, I'm not going to really go like, oh yeah, the Cardinals won.
They did. That's a big win for them.
I mean, it is. You're right. It is a big win. But they played against a lopsided Jets team. I think the Jets team is also going to be kind of a joke because, they have Aaron Rodgers on the roster. And, they're supposed to be doing good with Aaron Rodgers. But look at them. 3-7. Like, I mean, hey, they're not last place because you got the Dolphins, but still.
I would have not, I'm happy for the Cardinals because every year we've heard, there's been that tension of, Kyler Murray. And right now, you got to be happy with what they are. 6-4, 4-2 at home. To them, this is a hard win because you're expecting the worst when it's Aaron Rodgers. You really are. You're expecting to hear. However, this isn't the Aaron Rodgers that used to be the powerhouse driver after Brett Favre retired in Green Bay. As a Jet, he's tarnished his legacy, guys. And it's about his control and command of what he wants. Pretty much, the Jets went out and did everything for him. So we got Lazard, we got, they might as well just call themselves the New York Jets Packers because that's all they are. The only thing they don't have there is LaFleur and a couple select few and everything. And to be fair, Saleh really, he had his time there. Now he's back with the Packers. He's got a great relationship with Matt LaFleur. So, you're seeing that he wasn't the result of the job. You're seeing it as it wasn't his. It's an organization, and it starts with the upper executives when they start butting heads with the people down below. Don't hire somebody if you don't want somebody to do what they feel is necessary. And that's the hard part about football, is that CEOs, executives, they don't like to be wrong to the lower guy. They like to be right. That's how it works in the business model. And unfortunately, that's how that works. And unfortunately, it gets you fired. Jets need a lot of help. Lions, Texans, what a game.
I mean, this was going to be another blowout and a Texans win, but the Lions came back and narrowly, almost hitting the pole, narrowly squeaked in a 52-yard field goal for a 26-23 win, and the Lions to go 8-1. That is impressive by the Lions. They're like the Chiefs. They will find a way to win. And a couple other teams too that do win games.
I said last season was going to be the Chiefs and Lions. I was wrong. However, if you put me in a matchup right now, my best prediction for you is the Chiefs and Lions playing in the Super Bowl. That's how good both of these teams are. Who would have ever thought it's great in Detroit, it's great in Michigan, because you have a winning football team. Dan Campbell's a great head coach. He has taken over a team. He's building something there. He's building what could be a legacy for Lions fans for the future and everything. You know, the Texans, this is hard to take. I mean, you were set to win that game. Yeah, I mean, all you had to do is continue to control that clock, know how to make your drives, and unfortunately, but this is now where they need to understand, and what makes Houston a good team is they need to modify and know how to restructure their balance for next week. So it's really, really huge when they go into that. They don't want to make it that loss. Does it sting? It does. But as well, too, it's against the Lions team. I mean,
a Lions team that could be really dangerous.
They're really dangerous. And Goff did not play on his best game yesterday. So that's a game that the Texans should have won. Let's see if they can get better from there. And then we have tonight's Dolphins-Rams game. What's your prediction on that one?
I believe I have the Rams winning that one.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tua Tagovailoa is probably going to say they're almost basically similar to the Cowboys. They, for I know, with that stretch without Tua Tagovailoa is probably going to cost them. But, who knows? Technically, they are 2-6, I believe.
They didn't lose this past week that much.
They're 2-6 or 2-7, but still.
2-6.
Okay, yeah, I'm right. 2-6. But, for I know, maybe they could go on something. Maybe Tua Tagovailoa can maybe try to make one of the biggest comebacks. I don't know. But for me, personally, I kind of have some doubts right now. That's why I'm going with the Rams to get, for the first time this year, with a winning record.
It's sad. I think Tua needs to retire. But he has a passion. He wants to play. I think losing him during that time was a lack of confidence, and McDaniel now has to try to work his way to get him there. They didn't lose by much in his return, so that's a good thing. However, again, you were 2-5, now you're 2-6. You got to win here on out if you even want to try to make it, and it's going to be rough. Rams, they've played inconsistent this year as well, too. However, they are 3-1 at home. So,
and they've got their players for a couple weeks now. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good guys.
Yeah.
That's why I'm also going with the Rams.
And, injuries do take a toll on the team's confidence as well, too, when they're out so much. This team is better than what they look. I expect them to actually get the win tonight. The Rams win this one. And the Dolphins, unfortunately, go down to 2-7.
Okay. All right. So that is it for now. That is the Week 10 recap video. If you guys want to see more content like this, then please smash the subscribe button. Smash the like button. Comment if you want to see something else.
And I do want to let everybody know, give Dylan a round of applause for what he has done on this channel for the last almost month and a half. I have I just took some time away and everything just to kind of let him do some stuff, and he's done awesome. Done awesome with everything. So give him a round of applause. Hit the like button for this video and everything. You want me to return this this coming up week to do predictions?
I think you do need to come back for a couple prediction videos, and we've also been slacking on the Madden videos. We really need to do those.
Yeah,
especially with the playoffs coming up too. So
we will.
We'll
pick up.
Well, we need to start doing those. Maybe we'll do like best matchup of the week. We'll have Madden do something about that for Madden 25, and then maybe later on, in the year or going into 2025, we'll probably do some NHL 25. But those are some things we'll have to plan on. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video.